Agriculture in the Caribbean is experiencing a wind of change. This as consumers in the region demand healthier and safer foods for their families. Farmers across the islands are beginning to realize that fresh, wholesome and healthy food based on sustainable and efficient farming practices is being demanded by a public that is willing to pay for it. These farmers share how they can produce food in harmony with the environment and at the same time maximize their profits. Take for instance St. Lucia grandmother Lucy Lafay. Her farm houses about a dozen pigs, far from a slaughterhouse. However, with some shared knowledge, her pigs now provide cooking gas to her home.
That is where the water is coming from, the waste is coming from, and it goes through there, and the excess goes out on the other side, and the gas, it builds up gas, that which is about 25% of the plastic is gas, and it goes through the tube to the pipe, to the kitchen, and then to the stove.
In continuing with efficiency and recycling, Lucy tells us that even the extra material which the biodigester does not consume, she uses elsewhere.
Well, I got the information from my extension officer, and they came to build it up for me since 2012, and after the Christmas trough, it was down, and in 2016 they built it back up, and it has been working since then. The waste would have to go down the drain, right, and since I have it, it has reduced the stench, and it helps a lot because I can use the water to water my garden. Well, it's mostly celery, parsley, onion, seasoning pepper, sweet pepper sometimes.
Retail in the Soufrière market or wholesale?
To the Castries market.
To the Castries market.
Yeah.
Not too far away, Natius Dominique harvests thousands of gallons of rainwater in an underground tank. This he uses to grow hundreds of heads of lettuce in an efficient hydroponic system. The immense water tanks are filled with breeding tilapia as well, a guaranteed source of income.
Well, basically, we have the fishes by steps.
Right.
So when this batch is good, the other one will come after. Each bed has about 3,000 pounds of fishes. We grow tomatoes using the waste of the fishes, peppers. Yeah. And
how long it takes you to harvest 3,000 pounds of fish?
it takes 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
And in the 3
6
months,
months.
6 months for 3,000 pounds of fish.
Yeah.
And in that 6 months, how many heads of lettuce do you get?
In these 3 months, we could harvest about 2,000 pounds of lettuce.
Lise Alexander left her job at a major airline to settle in Jamaica and practice traditional farming. She is quick to both identify challenges and seek environmentally sustainable solutions to keeping her dozens of crops at optimum harvest and well integrated with her chicken, goats and cattle. Lise supports composting and has invested time and knowledge in using worms to make vermicompost.
I sell the worms and I sell the vermicompost.
Okay.
This is a very light fertilizer, and I mix it in our potting soil.
Okay.
So way to recycle a nasty material, but at least give it some use. This mixture I made with coconut coir.
Yeah, I can see the coconut.
And cow manure that you mix with water. And you just put it in there. And I feed them in one corner. That's where they gather now. I cover them with a wet shirt.
Farmers in Trinidad and Tobago are also dependent on centuries-old knowledge to achieve a modest but reliable harvest and produce. Charles Bristol knows no other way to grow his hill rice.
I learned from my grandparents and them many years ago, and I still plant rice in the same style. manually, you know, use your boa, you drop your seed and all this kind of a thing. It's one seed, straight down from the grandparents all the time, because from the time it reached the stores in Trinidad here, the rice never changed. We didn't have no interference in it, in other words, you know, like man try to modify it to make a bigger yield and this kind of a thing. Nobody didn't try to do these things with it, so therefore it remained, you know, natural.
Farmers, producers and processors like Kelly Fitzjames are beginning to form community cooperatives in order to increase their profits.
The Agroecology Chocolate Company is a business, it's a limited liability, but it's owned by 4 community members. It only employs community members, buys community beans, and the Tourism Action Committee is a non-profit, and same thing.
Vicky Acevero saw the need to start the Santa Cruz Green Market in order to provide a space for their products to reach a demanding population.
The real motivating force behind this market was in part food wastage, and in the second part the sustainable development goal that deals with changing patterns of consumption and production.
Consumers are now flocking to these markets in their numbers and are keen to support family farmers in their quest for safe and healthy, locally grown food produced in a sustainable manner.
Oddly enough, I find the prices here quite reasonable, in some cases cheaper than what obtains at the markets, but I'm not averse to paying more if it is a premium quality product, because I'd rather pay for the produce than pay healthcare charges.
The cycle of agroecology extends beyond yesterday's harvest and today's table. It is a key factor in improving the lives and well-being of future generations in a holistic manner.
Quality of food. We talk about high food import bills in the Caribbean. What is the way out for that? The way out is to grow local, buy local, eat local. A penny saved is a penny earned. What has happened over the years is that we have gone into more, eating more processed foods high in sugar, fat, you know, that are not good for us. They have really changed our lifestyles. We now have a lot more non-communicable diseases among us, diabetes, high blood pressure, you name it. And so eating local, eating more fresh foods is a very good way of combating some of these problems.